So over December and January, we have been treated to what is almost an advent calendar of revelations of partying in Downing Street. Not just partying, but drunkenness. Drunkenness. I was just reading a news article today where one person who works there or has worked there, anonymous source, says that they basically did batches of work between drinking sessions. And the staff would often start drinking at midday and then wake up the next day and go back to work in the same clothes as the day before. Now, this doesn't sound good, does it, to most people? Most people who've worked in industry or anywhere, we would recognize that people drinking excessively, even outside of work, is not good. But certainly drinking at work and then sleeping over at work and then coming back to work in the same clothes, none of this is particularly good, especially if you are running the country. Now, I do find it kind of, well, I find it kind of hilarious in one sense, if I'm going to be nihilistic and cynical. But it's also very, very scary that the people who are at the top of the government, you know, the people, the civil service running the country, a big chunk, you know, surrounding the Prime Minister, these appear to be deeply flawed characters who are turning to booze to get them through their working day. Now, don't get me wrong, I have some understanding of how stressful, I'm not insensitive to how stressful the job is. And yet I would like to have people who have the resilience and skills and all the personal characteristics it takes to get through the working day and do that job with integrity and logic and justice and wisdom without turning to the brandy or the whiskey or the wine. And I wonder how many people have spotted this and have known about this. I mean, does Boris himself, did he, when he first went there and worked in there, it would have been some time ago because he has been a minister before, so I guess he knew about it, but did it ever occur to him that this was not good? And if so, did he decide to turn a blind eye? Now, this is one of the most dangerous things, turning a blind eye. Most of us do wrong at some time in our lives, but often we don't do wrong through our actions. The most common thing, the most common area where we do wrong is where we fail to act or we fail to speak up. We fail to speak when something must be said. Now, let's put ourselves in Boris's shoes very briefly. He's a fairly new Prime Minister. Let's imagine he goes into 10 Downing Street. There's an established team very often, or he's been working with an established team for some time. And you don't want to rock the boat, do you? You don't want to come in and say, right, this culture's all wrong, you're all wrong, your behaviour's out of line, you know, half of you are sacked, let's draw a line under it and move on. You don't want to rock the boat. You need to get along with people. But there's a danger there in trying to be liked, in trying not to rock the boat, in trying not to damage relationships when you're at the very start of a relationship. One of the dangers is that you tolerate things which should not be tolerated. You put it off. And there's a great quote, and I can't remember where I got this from, but the quote is, conflict delayed is conflict magnified. By delaying the conflict, it's just going to get worse, because by allowing that behavior to continue, you then become a part of it, you condone it, you send the message that it's okay. Your failure to act, your failure to speak up sends the message that it's okay. And then eventually, when the time comes to stop that behavior, it's even harder than it was before. And in Boris's case, and indeed my case and your case, anyone else's case, you know, if you don't stamp out that behavior at an early opportunity, you can be accused of being part of the problem yourself because you allowed it to occur. So in Boris's recent troubles, I think there's a lesson for all of us there, isn't there? When you notice things that are wrong, speak up carefully, tactfully. You know, you have to manage the risks of rocking the boat and damaging things, but speak up, because the longer you delay, the harder it's going to be.